Good morning and welcome to our very first edition of Get Real with Real Estate, hosted by Jameson Melbye here on KWNG 106. I guess I can call myself the show co-host, Action Jack Colwell. And Jameson, a bit about yourself. Give me a little a bio.
A little bio. So I've been selling real estate in Red Wing 10 years. I've been with RE/MAX Results now for almost 3 years. And yeah, it's a great deal. Love Red Wing, love selling real estate in this area, so it's a good deal.
Can you tell me a bit about the goals for this program, some of the things you're hoping to help people out with?
Well, I would say in my profession, there's a lot of questions that are commonly asked, and that way I can answer them on the radio. This show is also being recorded on Facebook Live Thursday, so people can check that, and it just educates people more on the home buying and selling process.
So we have various questions that people are wanting to have answered, obviously, and we're going to lead it right off. Okay, I guess you're the answer man. Are you all set?
I am, yep.
All right, so yeah, we're going to lead it off with Sean in Red Wing, who asked, why is it important to get pre-approved before looking at houses?
So the thing is, when you find the right house in this market, houses are selling anywhere from a day to a couple days, so it's really important to be pre-approved. So when you find the right house, you can make an offer that day. The sellers know you're a serious buyer. You're going in with a good pre-approval from a reputable bank, and they'll take your offer seriously. So it's really important to have a good pre-approval letter. If the lender asks for any documents, please submit them to them so they can give you a quality pre-approval. Very important.
All right, there we go. Another question from Andy in Red Wing, who asked, do I have to wait 2 years to sell my house to avoid capital gains tax?
Yes, definitely. So if you want to avoid the capital gains tax, which is a good idea, you need to live in your primary residence for 2 of the last 5 years. So nobody likes to pay tax unnecessarily, so I always recommend staying in the house 2 years, and as long as you've lived there 2 years in the last 5, you definitely can avoid that capital gains tax.
All right, Andrea in Red Wing asking, I'm looking to buy another home, but is it best to sell my current one or else rent it?
Well, so that's a good question. The thing is, I love landlords I represent, and I'm a landlord myself. So anytime you can find somebody that's willing to pay your mortgage for you, I would say take that. The question would be there, really, each situation depends on, do you have money for the down payment for the next home? So if you need the equity from your house to buy another home, I would say you need to sell it. But if you do have extra money for a down payment, it'd be a great idea to rent it, definitely.
All right. Also, Andrea asked, what do you think the housing market will look like in another few years? Boy, that's interesting. And do you think we'll see another crash? Or right now it seems to be pretty strong.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. It's something that last fall and into the winter, a lot of national real estate speakers and professionals were predicting a crash would happen this year. Possibly spring, they're not sure quite when that is. And if you look at real estate cycles, we always go through ups, downs in the market. So you'll have sellers markets, buyer markets, things like that. Right now, we're in a very strong sellers market in Red Wing, which is good. I mean, buyers had their chance during the recession. Now sellers are getting what they want. And if you follow the natural cycles, you know that eventually it will dip. Things will go lower. So it just depends on when does that happen? What markets will be affected by this? The indicators they saw were luxury markets in the East Coast and the West Coast were going from multiple offers to one offer to sitting on the market. So that's the first indicator. When the people with money start tightening up their pockets, people start to get a little bit freaked out, and then lending tightens up, in commercial lending, things like that. So those same indicators that happened before 2007, 2008 are happening now. So it does lead one to believe that we are heading into another recession. It just depends when. Don't shoot the messenger. It's just the advice we're given.
Jameson, before we get to another question, I have one here. Do you see it where a trend starts on either one of the coasts and works its way in toward the breadbasket of America or the Midwest? What have you noticed?
Yeah, it definitely is. The markets with more demand, I would say, are always selling quicker, things like that. But like I said, you can see where things drop off in those markets too. being that we're in Red Wing, we're in a small town in Minnesota, chances are we're not going to be affected as hard as, like, let's say the luxury market in Miami, you know, or the coast, because they have international buyers there. And the international buyers, you know, pay attention to our politics, our economy, and they make their decisions largely based on that. So we don't have too many of those buyers locally.
I'm Jack Colwell. Joining me is Jameson Melbye, and the show is on KWNG 106, Get Real with Real Estate. And we've got another Facebook question here. I'm just starting off and looking to buy my first home, but I don't have enough for a 20% down payment. So what options, Jameson, are available, or should I just keep renting?
So, yeah, that's really good. When people have 20% down, they're allowed to pass on the mortgage insurance. So they're considered less risky by the banks because they have more skin in the game. So 20% down is best. If you can't come up with 20% down, there's options. In Red Wing, we have a 0% down USDA rural development loan, incredible loan, 0 down. If you're a veteran, you can do a 0 down VA loan, really good loan. The next best would be a 3.5% down FHA, 5% down conventional. So keep in mind that the less money you have down, you will be paying mortgage insurance to a certain extent. But the 0 down USDA has really competitive rates, low fees, things like that. So a lot of the buyers in this market are taking advantage of the 0 down USDA.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, with your mortgage insurance, that would still be in effect until you have paid a certain amount toward the overall principal. Is that how it works, basically?
Correct, yeah. So once you have enough equity in the home, then you can talk to your loan officer, you know, down the road and look at, you know, getting off that PMI.
There we go. Another frequent question, boy, I've heard this obviously quite a bit, is when is a good time to sell my home?
Yeah, so that really depends on what your goals are and how fast you want to move and things like that. So spring is a great time. That's when most home buyers are out. In this area, the snow melts, you know, the weather warms up, all of a sudden people are hitting the streets looking at houses.
Yeah, it's supposed to warm up, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's sleeping today. We're not too excited about that. Almost in May, but that's Minnesota, of course. So spring is always best, and then once July hits, it slows down until the end of October, September. People start thinking it's going to snow eventually, so we want to get home. So if you have more time, you're not too crunched. Summer is okay. Winter is interesting because you have less inventory, so you have less competition. So you might have less showings. It's not going to be as busy for you, but there's less homes on the market for people to choose from. So then sometimes if you have a little bit of a more unique house, winter is a good time.
Yeah, timing is everything, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have another question. When I have my offer accepted, should I have a home inspection?
We always recommend a home inspection. So home inspections are typically about $350, and the home inspector digs into the house. I mean, he's looking at, you know, are your outlets grounded? Is your water heater, you know, installed correctly? Furnace working? You know, they check your appliances, your AC, the whole electrical system, plumbing systems, you know, chimneys, foundations. I mean, $350 sometimes sounds like a lot of money when you're putting a down payment and you have your closing costs and things like that. But if they find something that's a $5,000, $10,000 problem that you wouldn't have seen, it's well worth having that done.
All right, excellent stuff there. Any other comments you want to make here as we start to wrap up our first edition of Get Real with Real Estate?
Yeah, sounds good. I would say that, you know, if people are thinking about selling their home, right now is still a great time to do so. And I have some flexible commission packages for people to choose from. That would be great. And I just want to make a quick note. I'm in a local BNI group. Wednesdays from 11:30 to 1, and we're having a visitor day. Wednesday, May 10th from 11:30 to 1:30 at the St. James Hotel. So if you're a business owner, somebody who wants to network, grow your business through referrals, I would say that'd be a great time. Let me know if you're interested, and I can give you more information on that.
So our first show is history. How did it go okay for you? You feeling all right over there?
It went well. You know, I had jitters before. I'm still a little bit nervous, but I think it went well on the whole. So.
Excellent stuff. If people want to get in touch with you, Jameson, obviously we have our show going now on KWNG 106. Give us some other contact info.
Yeah, so I would say if you look me up on Facebook, you can type in Jameson Melbye Remax Results. I have a page there that, like I said, this is live streaming on that page. My web address is jamesonmelbye.com. You can search for homes there, see my current inventory, And cell phone, always 651-764-8933.
Looking forward to working with you. Great show. Let's do it again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
All right, there we go. That's Get Real with Real Estate, hosted by Jameson Melbye here every Saturday at this time, right here on KWNG 106 and online too at KWNG.com. Back again next Saturday.